Hello again and welcome back to Mrs G's Art Channel. Today's lesson is focused on dreams and inspired by French-Russian artist Marc Chagall, who lived between 1887 and 1985. The work we're going to be doing today can either be done in felt tip pens and pencils or in oil pastels and watercolour, and I'll show you both methods. But before we get started, we need to look at Marc Chagall's work and note the key features for our artwork. Chagall's dream paintings combine a powerful imagination with memories of growing up in a small Jewish town on a farm in Russia. Poor but happy. Like much dream art, they feature elongated flying figures, bright glowing suns and moons, fantastic arrays of powerful colours and impossible things going on. There are angels swooping down from the heavens, chicken and fish floating in the sky with himself and his beloved wife, violin-shaped goats flying around the sun and moon, and often a chapel or a church on the hill, and his bed floating through the night sky. Chagall wants us to travel with him on a personal journey and tell us a story we will never forget. What story will your dream art tell us? Step 1. Pick up your pencil. We're going to draw a fantasy hilltop village, but remember to leave plenty of space for the sky above because there's going to be lots going on in it, including some form of you flying through your dream. So here is my hill. There's always a church of some sort on top, so I'm going to have my village as rather futuristic maybe, with some bubble shapes in it. And another layer going up. Okay, this could be my bubble church with the cross on top, and then the rest of it. Church doorway, church windows, and this can be my little bubble village, my futuristic village. Maybe that's a couple of stories high, and then another long one here. They might have a bubble roof sticking out maybe on some of these, and another little one down here with maybe a house coming up behind it as well. Going to have a flat roof on that just for a slight change there, and we should put a roof on the church really as well. Poor church. Okay, some doorways on these. So these would be the villages that Chagall was flying over in his dreams. Let's have a little long thin one on the end there. Maybe some windows. Okay, and then down the bottom of the hill, maybe it's more of a spaghetti village down here. That's nice. All rickety and twisted. And actually Chagall's buildings that he draws are never straight. Don't worry about that. They really do not need to be straight. They're really interesting shapes. Okay, some doorways. Some windows. And there's normally a path going up to the church, so I'm going to put that in next with a bit of perspective so that the path gets larger as it comes towards us. Starts narrow at the door and gets wider as it comes towards us. And then to finish this off, we need some kind of trees, I think, to go in it as well. So they could be futuristic coloured trees or shaped trees. I'm going to keep mine relatively traditional so we know what they are. So we'll have a puffy tree there. I might have a more sort of fir tree shaped one coming up behind the houses here. We could get another one of those. Let's have a skinny tall tree in the gap there. That's quite futuristic looking. I feel we need another tree coming over the edge at the end there. So these can be coming out from behind the houses. There's the trunk just sneaking through. And I'll have one more on the end. So maybe this can be some kind of weird futuristic pokey tree shape there. Okay, so we've got the basic hill with the village, and we will be able to put some things into the sky later. So at this point, you need to decide which characters are in the story that your artwork is telling. So as mine is quite futuristic and strange looking, I'm going to have some fairly unusual blobby characters wandering around in the park on the hill, and myself will be flying through the sky, and I need to have the strange Chagall moon and sun and some unusual shapes for stars in the sky, and maybe a violin goat flying around. So here's the alien world that I've just sketched. And here is another one I did earlier, which is an undersea world with a mermaid flying through the sky and fish characters around. And the houses are a little bit straighter and more rectangular. Step 2, time to colour in. I'm working in oil pastels and I will not colour the sky in because that's going to be done with watercolour later. If you're colouring in your picture with felt tip pens, do not colour the sky either because you will be doing it with coloured pencils afterwards. Colour the shapes that you've drawn as solidly as possible in your oil pastels because they are going to be blocking out the watercolour later when you put it on. So I tend to colour the houses on the skyline there in fairly solid colours and then put roofs on in black or brown or red, fairly matching to bring it together. Then colour in the creatures in the foreground and the flying people in the sky and the moon and the sun. And there you can see the drawing so far. Step 3, fill in your imaginary background colours. So I'm going to do a fairly traditional green for the park. And hopefully the oil pastel, or indeed wax crayons, would block out the paint. So it should only stay in the gaps. For the sky, I'm going to use lots of blues, which Chagall was so famous for in his paintings. Add purples and pinks as well as blues to make your sky more amazing, and darker blue around the sun. Take a slightly damp cloth to wipe off anywhere it went over the oil pastels a little. Replace any outlines that you feel need sharpening up. And enjoy the colourful Chagall style dream scene you've created. Here's our mermaid dream scene, which is coloured in felt tips, and you can add pattern to that as well. And then develop nice strong colours for the houses and the items flying around in the sky. And finish off by using pencil, shading with blues, purples, pinks, oranges, whichever colour you like to make the sky dynamic. And you should end up with a fantastic imaginative dream scene. And here is the final finished felt tip pen and pencil product. I hope you enjoyed our Dreams art tutorial today. If you did, like it, share it and subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you again soon.